So we're going to talk about the week 6 assignment with the discussions on formative assessment. And the first one is about the collaborative discussions for the 4th grade class. So the first question was, how does Miss Bouchard involve her students in establishing the learning goals and success criteria? I just put that she really did like great kid-friendly statements so the kids could understand them easily. It was a really good one for me because I teach 5th grade, so it wasn't far off from what I teach. And sometimes they don't understand like these broad Common Core statements, so you have to really put it down to their level. And that it allowed them to take ownership for the statement that they chose, because she let them like choose which one was best out of their table group, and then they got to choose which one was best for that to be their statement for the whole classroom. So it was like they got to choose the best understanding for them for the collaborative discussion.
I kind of had the same thing.
Sorry. Yeah, me too. Go ahead.
I liked how she let the kids, they were student-friendly when she gave it to them, but then they continued to unpack those ideas, which really helped to embed the ideas in their minds. And then the group decision at the end, I think, was important because that really gave them ownership of, this is our goal, this is what we're reaching for when we're having our collaborative meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I said the same thing as you guys did. I just liked the way that they all interacted, and it seemed like all of them were engaged, and she made sure that she checked for understanding. So I thought she did a really good job with getting them all involved.
Yeah, me too. And then the second question was, what observations does Miss Bouchard make during the discussions? And she just said that most were using like the linking words or phrase with their ideas when they were sharing ideas, but not a lot of them were asking each other questions for better understanding. So she talked more with them about that as far as how to ask, like, well, why did you think this? So they would better understand each other's opinions. And that's something I have issues with. Mine don't always ask that. They're just like, well, I thought, or I agree, or, they don't really ask each other questions to better understand what's going on.
I thought it was neat that once she realized that, they had a conversation, whole group about it, but then she let them go back and not redo that part, but kind of go back and enhance those skills of digging deeper. I thought that was really good, instead of just saying, this is what I noticed, next time do better.
Yeah.
And she said, how could you learn more? What questions could you ask? And they were like, well, how did you do this? Or what did you think about this? So she sort of led them, but they thought of the questions.
Yeah. How does Miss Bouchard help the students assess their own learning? I love the self-reflection sheet. I use a self-reflection sheet in my classroom, but it's not always like as detailed as hers. And that's what I put as like my thing that I'd like to share with my colleagues, because ours is kind of just like, do you feel like you met the criteria, yes or no? But I like how she said, give examples of how you met this criteria. So I thought that was awesome. Something I'll definitely use.
Yeah, and then she goes around and like meets individually saying, well, I saw you doing this, so this is something you could have put here, and gives them some ideas for things they could work on for the next time, which is helpful because sometimes students struggle with that reflection piece.
Yeah.
No matter how many times they've practiced it.
Yeah, I liked it too because it wasn't just a general, like one question. They had a chance to elaborate on that, like the exit question or whatever. So I like the way that I want to share that with my colleagues as well.
I liked how she did that, definitely. And then I guess the second one, so that was like high school. I don't know. What grade do you guys teach? That was more difficult for me.
I'm actually in administration right now. I'm in a private school, so I'm sort of going backwards. So it's K through 6 for me.
And I teach 8th grade currently.
So this was probably a little closer for you, like the high school thing.
It was. And it was also a math lesson, which was nice because I am not a math person. But I think because I wasn't a math person, seeing the process made it a lot more clear for me because I was trying to learn what they were doing at the same time trying to figure out what she was trying to get them to figure out.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the second video
I
as
teach
well.
math, but not that kind of math.
Well, I just got through helping my son with he's 8th grade and he's doing geometry sort of in 8th grade, and I just tried to help him with those sort of things. So I was like, oh, I want to look into that computer program where it's on there because we could have used that to sort of show, because I don't write very neat and he's sort of sloppy too. So our like graphs were crazy. So I would have loved that the app or that whatever that geometry app was.
Yeah, I love seeing videos where they have like the one-to-one devices because last year our fifth graders just got them. So we're really like incorporating everything into the computers now. And so it's a lot different than like just basic, how it's been for so long.
Paper.
Yeah. So why does Miss, I don't even know how to say it, Porfitz begin her class by asking students for real-world examples of congruent figures? I just said that they understand better and are able to apply it to a more formal definition. Like when you see it in everyday life, it's easier to apply it to what it actually is rather than just seeing examples in your book and stuff.
That's exactly kind of what I wrote in my notes, is what she said about being able to formulate that. And then just linking those two together will really make that knowledge stick. Like those two boys that thought about that Disney thing, like they were so excited about that. And they'll probably not forget that for a while.
Right, that's what I put too, because the boys even mentioned it. It makes sense in real world things that we could see it.
Mm-hmm.
That was neat, that the Epcot scene. I should have thought of that last week, but yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And then even like the cabinets in the classroom, they were like, oh, in their classroom, they could even see it, in their room firsthand. They could see it. So why does Ms. Porfitz give students graph paper and shapes in addition to geometry software? This is something that like I struggle. Like I like to have regular paper and pencil as well as like them seeing it on their one-to-one devices. I just said so she could, it's important for them to have both types of evidence, because some kids are like, they would rather move the plastic shapes around rather than just do it virtually on the computer, because everybody learns differently. So
yeah, and I said just more proof for when they were trying to see how many series they could get. There was more proof every time they did it from the computer software to the paper software. So it just reinstated their original ideas.
Yeah.
Right. Even the manipulatives where it's already the shape. They don't have to draw anything or have to do anything with the computer. They just flipped it over or moved it. So I thought it reached all the kids.
Yeah. How does Ms. Porfitz know when students are ready to work on the extension activity? This is something that really applies for my math classroom because I have like the higher math class and the AIG kids and stuff, and so it seems like they're almost always ready for like the extension activity. And sometimes I forget that maybe even though they're like these AIG kids and they seem to get it so quick, maybe they're not always ready for the AIG activity. So I like how she said, that they have to come up with multiple, solutions for the problems that they created, rather than just they can answer all the questions in the book. They have to create their own and then have multiple different solutions for those problems.
Yeah, I feel a lot of times if they can solve something, they can solve it all day long. But when you ask them to create, that's where they notice they're stumbling. And so I thought that was really interesting how she brought that out in the video, that that was a requirement in order for them to move on to that next part about going back in the real world now and identifying those.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I've lost my notes. I'm trying to log back in where I have my notes.
I love the real world stuff, and connecting it to that though, especially because that's what we do a lot of, like in our classroom right now. We're playing like a stock market game because we're doing decimals and adding decimals and stuff, and that's so real world for them to see those decimals and the percentages and stuff. And so, but I like how she made sure they were ready before they moved on to like these extension activities for what happens. Is there anything that you guys like wanted to share with your colleagues and stuff about this video specifically?
I liked both of them. Both of them gave me some ideas to bring back to the colleagues and how, because they do have the exit questions or things like that, but it's usually just one problem or one, it doesn't go deeper. Like you said, they could do problems all day, but when they have to apply it in real world, or they have to make their own problem or make a problem for another kid to solve, I think that really digs deeper. And I think that I'm going to definitely bring that real world example. I want to share that with my colleagues.
Yeah, me too.
I think it would be helpful for them to see the collaborative group, like the discussion, because a lot of times we're like, okay, talk in your group about this, and then we get frustrated because they're off task or off topic. And I think there's a lot of people in our staff that might benefit from seeing, well, this is how you teach how to work in a collaborative group. It's not just a quick 5-minute discussion, but the kids really have to understand the vocabulary that should be going on during those conversations. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely just want them to even just watch the video would be helpful, I think, in their learning.
Yeah, because there's so many like turn-in talks or turn-in share with your neighbor or whatever, but sometimes they don't even share what they're supposed to be sharing. So definitely just watching it and seeing how they're supposed to be collaborating is really important. Yeah, I would like to share that too. That's a good point. I don't know. Anything else we need to cover? I think that was pretty much.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
Did we need to talk about the article at all with the teacher evaluation stuff? Or do we just need to read that? I'm trying to.
I think it just said watch the 2 videos featured below, and then Zoom conference, discuss the questions, and discuss something you learned and might be interested in sharing with your school. So I think we just read the article. Yeah, I thought we had to read the article too, but then when I reread the prompt, it was different. So.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for waiting to get in touch with me. I'm so sorry it took me forever. The flu kicked my butt. So I was out of commission.
Yeah, don't come up in the directory for Gardner-Webb.
I don't know. Well, for the longest time, I haven't been getting emails for like 3 weeks. And I did something that Dr. Edney had put on the syllabus, like to do to your emails, and it has like messed everything up. And so now I'm starting to get them again, but people can't send me emails, so I don't know what's going on.
No. I couldn't figure out how to forward them because she said to forward them, and I thought, because I forget to look into that email too. So
well, I think that's what I did was I was trying to forward them to like my school email just to make sure I didn't miss it. But apparently when you do that, it turns everything off on the other side, your school email, and like it hasn't worked right since. And I live in Siler City, so I can't just go on campus and have them fix it, and we're trying to do it online, and it's just a hot mess.
Yeah, you didn't come up when we were like looking for you. I was like, I don't know how to get in touch with her.
Well, I appreciate y'all waiting and keeping trying.
Yeah, no worries.
So when you send that email, we just save it and then upload it, because I'm terrible at this Blackboard stuff.
Yeah, I'll send you guys a link, and you just update that link. You just copy that link and post it into your Blackboard.
Okay.
And that's what she wants. So even if she just gets it from like me, it'll be the same thing as you guys too, I think. But you have to post it or try. So she'll be able to see it. Yeah. So I don't know if we have any more Zoom conferences or anything else, but it was nice to meet you guys.
Nice meeting y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.